to go over our practices. If we have time, I'm going to go over this week's practices just to make sure that we know how to do them and how to complete them successfully. But our focus at first is going to be the notes, reviewing those notes and getting ready to set you guys up for success as you try these practices on your own. Okay, so in front of us we have this question here. What is the sum of the two polynomials below? And I already saw that Jules put his answer in the chat. And so if you're summing or you're adding these two polynomials below, you can only add them based on the terms, right? And which terms are alike and which terms are not alike. So you can only use the idea of adding apples to apples and adding oranges to oranges. So what that means is that if I'm looking at these two polynomials, I have 2x squared and 3x squared. These are apples, right? These both are apples because they both have x squared. So I can add these two together, right? But I cannot add the 7x to the 3x squared because this is an apple and this is an orange, right? But I can add this 7x to the negative x, okay? So I would have to combine the things that are alike. So when I add the 2 to the 3, I'm going to get 5x squared. So I can eliminate B and D as answers. And then I can combine the 7x with the negative x. So 7 minus 1 is going to give me 6. And that's how I'm going to get my answer of A. And we have to go to this last part, but positive 5 minus 1 gives me positive 4. So that's how we get A as the answer there for this warm-up exercise. All right, so when you are adding your polynomials, right, exactly, you just are going to be looking at the things that are alike, and that's what the ones you can combine together. If they are not alike, you don't combine them. Okay, you keep them separate. All right, very good. So we are going to now get into our notes. So it's in your week 10 folder. We're going to go over those notes. We're going to finish them. And again, we're going to just try to do the practices as well to make sure that we are in a good position to set ourselves up for success. So let's do that. Let's look at our notes. All right, so in your week 10 folder, I'm going to open up the identifying expressions notes. And that is what we're going to continue working on. Right, so we are on page 3. We finished pages 1 and 2 on Monday. And so we should be on page 3, where we're talking about inequalities. All right, that's where we're going to begin. Our discussion is going to be on inequalities. All right, so just a reminder, what do all of these terms, what do all these symbols mean? I mean, what is this first symbol that's going to with the mouth to the left? What does that mean?
Greatest.
Greater than.
Greater than. Good. And then under it, we have?
Greater than or equal to.
Okay, good. Right. And then here on the right, what do we have?
Less than.
Good. And then the last one?
Less than or equal to.
Good. Very good. And I'm just going to draw my symbols in here. Okay, so those are all the symbols that an inequality can have, right? So now we are going to identify. So now that we know what an expression is, what an equation is, and what an inequality is, we're going to identify them below, right? Numbers 1 through 7 represents either an expression, an equation, or an inequality. And we're going to identify how we know which one is which, okay? So this first one, 5x is greater than 25. Is that an expression, an equation, or an inequality?
Is it
Inequality.
And how do we know?
Because you got the greater than.
Good. We have the greater than symbol. That's how we know it's an inequality. Very good. All right, what about number 2? Is it an expression, equation, or inequality?
Equation.
It's an equation? How do we know?
1/2 x minus 2.
But how do we know it's an equation?
The x.
The x?
No, the -2. -2.
How do we identify an equation? What are we looking for when we have an equation?
When you
What are we looking for?
equal to.
Oh, do we have that?
No.
Oh, so what do we have?
No, this is an expression.
Ah, very good. This is an
This is
expression,
not equal to.
right? There's no equal sign, there's no inequality sign, so it has to be an expression, right? Because there's no equal sign, there's no inequality sign. That means it must be an expression, okay? What about number 3, 29 minus k?
equation?
Okay, how do we know it's an equation?
Ooh. The K?
No.
What do we need to make something an equation?
It has to be equal to.
We need an equal sign for it to be an equation.
No, it's not equal to.
So there's no equal sign, so what is it?
Expression.
It's an expression. Okay, there's no equal sign, so it must be an expression, right? Okay, in order for it to be an equation, we have to have an equal sign.
So
All right, what about number 4? 8b plus 9c is less than 45. Is it an expression, an equation, or an inequality?
inequality.
How do you know?
For the sign.
Because it has a less than sign, right?
Yes.
That's how we know it's an inequality. Okay. What about number 5? It says negative 4m is equal to 16.
Equation.
How do you know it's an equation?
For the equal sign.
Oh, okay, good. All right, that's how you know it's an equation. Right? What about number 6? R minus negative 12 is equal to 9.
Equation.
It's an equation, of course, because we have an equal sign. And our last one, number 7, it says h plus negative 9 is greater than or equal to 3. Expression, equation, or inequality?
Inequality.
Inequality, right? Because we have the inequality sign. It's an inequality because of this sign right here, right? That's how we know it's an inequality.
Mr. G.
Yes.
Can we say inequation?
No. It's inequality. Yeah. Inequation is not a term in English. Yeah.
Okay, it's in French.
Yeah, in French it is, but it's in English it's inequality.
Okay.
Okay, any questions about those first 7 there? Okay. Good work. Let's keep moving. All right. So this is going to be a review of what we learned on Monday. We're going to identify the terms, the variables, the coefficients, and the constants in each expression. So we have negative 5a minus 7 plus 5d plus h. So how many terms do we have?
1. 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Good. We have 4 terms. Sorry, I just have to try to get my mouse back here. Okay. We have 4 terms, and those terms are negative 5a, negative 7, 5d, and h. Those are all the terms, right? Those are all the things that we see. So we have 4 of them. What are the how many variables do we have?
3.
Okay, we have 3 variables. What are they?
A,
Mhm.
D, and H.
And h. Good. Those are my 3 variables that I see. There's an a D, and an h. All right. If I have 3 variables, that means I should have 3 coefficients. What are my 3 coefficients?
Negative 5,
Good.
5,
Uh-huh.
and 1.
And 1. Very good. All right. So my coefficients are the numbers that appear before my variables, right? And remember, just whenever I see a variable by itself, I should understand that there is a 1 there. Okay. And what are my constants? What are my numbers without variables? How many do I have?
1.
Just
1,
1. And what is it?
7,
Negative 7.
negative 7.
Okay, good. All right. Here's my negative 7. Okay, so let's do the same thing over here with this one, 7m minus 5 minus n minus 8k. How many terms do I have?
4.
You have 4 again. Good. Those terms are 7m, negative 5, negative n, and negative 8k. All right, how many variables do I have?
You
3.
got 1.
3.
I have 3 variables, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have 3 letters there. I have 3 variables. So those letters are M, N, and K, right? Those are my 3 letters. If I have 3 variables, I have to have 3 coefficients. What are my coefficients?
7m.
7, not 7m, just 7.
7. I'm sorry. 5.
Negative 5.
5.
No, not wait. 5 is not a coefficient, right? It's a constant. There's no variable here.
Okay. So is it negative 8k?
Not negative 8k. Just the number is the coefficient. So negative 8.
1.
And negative 1, right? Because the n, there's a negative here, so it's a negative 1. Good. Those are my 3 coefficients. All right, so how many constants do I have? How many numbers do I have without a variable?
One.
Yep, just
1.
1.
Negative.
That number
5.
is negative 5. Okay. All right, so let's go back to our first page and make sure that we have these definitions. So on your first page, remember, a variable is a letter that represents a number we do not know yet. So anytime you see a letter in an expression, it is known as a variable. Every variable has a coefficient,
Coefficient.
right? Which is the number in front of the variable, right? And it can be positive
Or
or
negative.
negative, but make sure you take the whole number. If you don't see a number, what number is it?
It's one.
It's 1. Okay. And again, a constant is a number with no variable.
Variables attached.
Okay. So make sure you guys have these definitions and understand them. These are the things that you're going to have to review over and over again because these words are going to continue to come up, right? So your coefficient, if I ask you for your coefficient in this expression, you can't tell me 3x. That's not the coefficient. The coefficient is 3. It's just the number, right? The variable that it's in front of is the x, but if I just want the coefficient, I want that 3, okay? All right, let's go back down to page 3. I think we're done with page 3 now, right? Yeah, that was the end of page 3. So now we're going to move on to page 4. All right, so just a reminder, when plus or minus signs separate an algebraic expression into parts, each part is a term. The numerical factor of a term that contains a variable is called the coefficient. A term that does not contain a variable is called a constant. All right, so 8 is the coefficient of 8x. If I have this expression 8x plus y plus 3, 3 is my constant. Right? 1 is the coefficient of y because 1y is the same as just y. All right. So we have to I'm going to keep reminding you because I want us to continue to understand these definitions because we're going to use them to answer these questions below. We're going to, again, identify the terms, coefficients, and constants in each expression. So number 1 is 3 plus 7x plus 3x plus x. How many terms do we have?
4.
1, 2, 3. We have 4. Good, right? We have 3, 7x, 3x, and x. Every single time you have a plus or minus sign, you have a new term. All right, what are the coefficients, let's start off with how many coefficients do I have in number 1? How many coefficients?
3.
Good.
1.
I have 3.
Uh-huh.
What are they?
3.
Okay.
7, 3, and 1.
7 and 1.
Okay, and 1. So, right, so 7 is a coefficient right here, 3 is a coefficient here, and 1 is a coefficient right here. Okay, how many constants do I have?
1.
1. What's my constant?
3.
3. 3 is my constant, right? Because this is the only number that does not have a variable. So it is the constant. All right, let's try the second problem. How many terms do we have in y plus 3y plus 8y plus 2?
Oh.
Good, we have 4 terms. Perfect. Y, 3y, 8y, 2. How many coefficients do I have?
3 and 8. 3y and 8y.
Three coefficient. 1, 3, and 8.
So I have 3 coefficients, right? Your coefficient is a number that appears before
Oh.
the variable. Remember that I always have a coefficient even when I don't see one when a variable is by itself. So I have 3 coefficients. They are 1, 3,
3,
and 8.
8.
Okay, how many constants do I have?
1,
1. And what is my constant?
2,
2.
2.
All right. Good. All right, let's take a second and just make sure that we review both of these and we understand why these numbers are the way they are. All right, 4 terms, 3 coefficients, 1 constant for each of them. All right, now we're going to use this information to complete the same thing for problems numbers 3 and 4. So I'm going to just have you guys work on 3 and 4 on your own using the same strategy that I used in 1 and 2. And I'll check back with you in exactly 1 minute. All right, so it's been a minute. So we're going to see if we have answers for me. So how many terms do we have in problem number 3?
4.
We have 4. Very good. That's 2a, 5c,
A.
negative a, and 6a. Those are my 4 terms. All right. How many coefficients do I have?
I got 3.
You have 3. How many
Right.
variables do you have?
2.
Okay, there's 2 variables. What are they? A and C, right?
Yeah.
How many times do you see A and C appear? 1, 2,
2.
3, 4 times, right?
Oh, okay.
Every time you see a variable, you should have a coefficient. So how many coefficients do we have?
4.
4,
4.
There are 4 coefficients. They are 2, 5, negative 1, and 6.
Okay.
How many constants do we have? How many numbers do we have by themselves?
1.
What number do we have by itself?
Negative 1.
Where is negative 1?
The A. Negative A.
But that's an A. That's not a negative 1 by itself.
nothing.
Where is the negative 1 by itself? There is no negative 1 by itself. Right?
No.
There are no numbers by itself. A constant is a number without a variable.
Variable.
So I don't have any constants. There are 0 constants,
Because everything has a variable.
right? Because everything has a variable, right? So there are no constants. All right, how many terms do we have in problem number 4?
3.
We have 3 terms, great. So we have 6m, we have negative 2n, and we have 7. Those are my 3 terms. Okay, what are my, how many coefficients do I have?
3.
How many do I have? 3?
3.
Yeah, I have 3 coefficients. What is a coefficient?
A coefficient is the number in front of a variable.
Okay, so how many coefficients do
Oh,
I have?
2.
Okay. All right, so that's 6 and negative 2 are the 2 numbers in front of a variable. Okay, how many constants do I have?
7.
How
1.
many do I have?
1.
Okay, I have 1 and it is 7. Good. All right. So again, going back to our first page, these definitions are very important. So what is a variable?
A letter that represents a number. We don't know yet.
Okay. And every variable has what?
A coefficient.
And what is a coefficient?
The number in front of a variable.
Okay.
Can be positive or negative.
All right. And what is a constant?
A number with no variable attached.
Okay, good. All right. So these 3 things are what make up polynomials. You can find a variable in a polynomial, a coefficient, a constant, right? Any of those things are known as terms, okay? So that is what makes up a polynomial. All right, so those are all of your notes. Make sure you keep those and also try to turn them in so that you can get additional credit for turning them in. Let's go back into our folder because we're going to look at a couple exercises. Now we're going to look at a couple practices that we're going to work on together. So I'm going to go back to your week 10 folder and we're going to try practice number 1, which is what we've been doing all day, where we're identifying expressions.
Is that practice 2?
This is practice 1.
Practice 1, okay.
Okay, practice 1, identifying parts of an expression.
Gee,
Yep.
this thing popped up on my screen. It say recognize text. This seemed like a scanned PDF. Would you like to add to the text? Do I push no thanks?
Yeah, you can push no thanks. You don't need to recognize the text because we're not, it only needs to recognize the text if you need it, if you want it to read to you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm sorry?
I can't move my screen.
What do you mean?
It got small.
What got
Like-
small?
The paper.
Okay. I'm not sure what you mean, but do you want to try to share your screen so I can see what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and go ahead and try and share it.
Okay. Do you see it?
So you have to click share screen again. You have to click share screen twice. I'm
It
sorry.
say
Right, go ahead, try it again. Click share screen, the green button, and then click it again. It's going to be blue.
do you see it?
No, I don't see anything yet. You have to share it. Try it again.
Lord have mercy. Okay. Do you see it?
No.
Oh, what?
What did you click?
Do you see it? The thing? It's
Okay.
small.
Yes, now I see it. So what's the problem? It's too small, you said?
Yes. How do I make it big?
The
So I don't have
page?
my
The whole,
glass-
so do you see the little plus sign in the purple band?
The plus sign?
There's a plus sign, yeah, in the
Yes.
purple. So your name is in the middle, right? You see your name, Antoinette Mosby?
Yes.
Now keep going to the right. In that same purple band, you're going to see a plus sign. Do you see the plus sign?
Oh,
There
I
you go.
see it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Perfect. Okay, so here we have our polynomials, and we're going to identify the different parts of it. So I have 5 plus n. Do I have a constant? What's my constant if I have one? In this example, 5 plus n, do we have a constant?
No.
5.
5.
Yes, 5. 5 is my constant. Who said no?
Bad.
You don't see that 5? You don't see that big old 5 right there.
Yes, I see it now.
Okay, it is a constant. All right, what is the variable?
N.
N.
N. What's my coefficient?
1.
1, right? Remember, whenever we don't see a number, we have to assume 1. Is this an example of an algebraic expression? Yes.
Yes.
How many terms does it have?
2.
2. 2 terms. Perfect. Look at that. You guys did the first one very well. Except Antoinette didn't see that big old 5 for that constant. Okay, great. What about the next one? 8 minus c. What's my constant?
8.
Oh, okay, just making sure. I had to wait for Antoinette to say it because I didn't know. All right, what's my variable?
C.
Good. What's my coefficient?
1.
Not 1, almost.
2.
Not 2,
8.
not 8.
C.
Negative C.
So negative 1,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah,
So not 1, but negative 1. Okay, so this again is another example of an algebraic expression. How many terms does it have?
2.
2. Good. Okay. Do I have a constant in the next one? The next one is just p. Do I have a constant?
No constant.
No, no constant, right? I can put 0, I can put no constant. What's my variable?
E.
P. What's my coefficient?
None. It's not 1.
So whenever I have a variable, okay, and I don't see a number, my coefficient is 1. If I have a negative in front of my variable and there's no other number, my coefficient is negative 1. This is just a variable, so my coefficient is 1. Okay. This is still another example of an algebraic expression. How many terms do we have?
Only 1.
Only one term. Okay. All right, this one is going to be tricky because we have y over 6. Oof. Okay, do I have a constant?
Yes.
What is my constant? What is it?
6.
I do not have a constant. 6 is not a constant because 6 is not being added or subtracted. So I don't have a constant because 6 is currently being divided. So it is part of that term with the y. What's my variable?
Y.
Y. What's my coefficient?
1.
The number in front of the word.
Is a 1 6. 1 over 6.
Very good, Jules. All right, so this is the same as writing 1/6 times y when I just divide the y by 6. So my coefficient is 1/6, right? Because I'm actually dividing the y by 6. So it's 1/6 is my coefficient. This is an example of an algebraic expression. How many terms do we have?
1.
1, just one term. Okay, we're almost finished with this first exercise, believe it or not. Okay, so we have 1,245. This is our next one. What is our constant? Do we have a constant? 1,245?
Yes,
What's the constant?
1,245.
Perfect. That's my constant, 1,245. Oop. And 45, what happened? Okay. Do I have a variable?
No.
No.
No, no variable. There's none. If there's no variable, I also don't have a coefficient. Is this an algebraic expression? It technically is, yes, because I have a constant, and that's all I really need to make it an expression. How many terms do I have?
1.
One. Okay. Only a couple left. We have 17y minus 9. What's my constant?
9, -9.
Thank you for correcting yourself. Yes, -9. What is my variable?
17.
Why?
Why?
Yes. Variable is y. What is my coefficient?
17.
17.
Perfect. Is this an algebraic expression?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
How many terms do I have?
2.
2. Perfect. All right, 2 more. 3x plus 5. What is my constant?
+5. 5.
5. Okay. What is my variable?
3.
What is my variable?
X.
X. What is my coefficient?
3.
3. All right, this is an algebraic expression. How many terms do I have?
2.
2. Good. All right, y minus 3. What is my constant?
3.
3.
Not
Negative 3.
Yeah, good. What is my variable?
Y.
Good. What is my coefficient?
Is it -3 again?
10.
1.
1. The coefficient is the number in front of the variable, right? It's usually attached to the variable. Whatever number is attached to your variable is the coefficient. If I don't see a number, it's 1, unless I see a negative sign before my variable, then it's -1. This is an algebraic expression. How many terms do I have?
2.
2 terms, right? Okay. So there is your practice number 1. We just did it together, so make sure it is turned in on your end. Okay, so we did practice number 1 together. So let's take a look as well at practice number 2. We are probably not going to do all of practice 2. We'll see with time, how much time we have and what that allows for. I also just want to check really quickly about your exit ticket. 1 second, I want to see how long that is. Okay, great. Practice number 2. All right, your practice number 2 is an IXL link. All right, so you guys are gonna follow that IXL link to do that practice number 2. We're not gonna do it together, but just so you know, you're just gonna click on your link, and if you're signed in, make sure you're signed in over here at the top. You'll know if you're signed in if it says your name. Okay, make sure you're signed in before you begin your practice and make sure you complete that. All right. What we are going to look at next.
Not signed in.
I'm sorry?
I'm not signed in.
Okay, if you're not signed in, you're probably not signed in via Clever. The easiest thing to do if you're not signed in and you don't remember your password and it's not saved in your browser, just go to clever.com, right? Or you should have your Clever link or something already in your browser. Go to Clever and make sure you're signed in.
Yes, I'm signed in to Clever.
Okay, and if you're signed into Clever, then you should be able to also be signed into IXL because there's a link for IXL on your Clever.
Oh,
right?
we say the word. I can see the problem, so that means I'm signed in.
If so, I was just showing you how to be signed in, right? If you're signed in, it'll have your name in the upper right corner. Does it say welcome, Antoinette?
No, it doesn't say that.
Okay, so that means you're not signed in. So make sure you just go into Clever and sign in and make sure you're actually signed into your browser. Again, just go to Clever,
Yes.
click it, make sure you're signed in. On that home page, click on IXL because it'll sign you in automatically.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, great. And then you can go back and click the link again from Schoology and you'll be signed into your IXL so that you can do that practice.
Okay.
Right? That's one thing. Make sure you guys are working on that. So both practice number 2 and practice number 3 are going to be due tomorrow by 3 p.m., which is your exit ticket. All right, we're going to work on another activity where you guys are going to be combining like terms. We're just going to do that in class as an activity. But practices numbers 2 and 3, you guys are going to do on your own and turn in by 3:00 p.m. tomorrow. All right, let me pull up the other activity that we're going to work on right now. I'm sorry, I'm just going to pause my share really quickly and get into my folders. Here.
What?
All right, so we're going to look at this activity where we are combining like terms. I'm going to walk you guys through one of the strategies that's good to use in order to combine terms. We talked about it this earlier today in the example that we had on our warm-up. So just bear with me here, just trying to set some things up. Okay, great. All right, so here we have 6x plus 8 plus 2, right? So in this example, we have constants and we have variables. What are our constants in 6x plus 8 plus 2? What are the constants?
Eight and 2.
Good. So I'm going to put them here, separated out from my variable. Okay. So I'm going to take my terms and then separate them into the categories. So 8 and 2 are my constants, and the only other term that I have is a term with a variable, but there's no other term with a variable, right? So this is done. This is as simple as it's going to get. But now I can combine these two. What's 8 plus 2? 10. So I take the simplified versions and I put them together as my answer, 6x plus 10. And I always write the term with the variable first and the terms without the variable after. Okay, so this is my answer, 6x plus 10. 10 plus 6x is not a correct answer because you always want to put your variable first, followed by the constant. Okay? Now let's try this other side. We have 4x plus 7 plus 3x. What are my constants? 4x plus 7 plus 3x. Which ones are my constants?
7.
Just the 7, right? Okay, so that's it. And then the terms with my variable are the other two. So I have 4x plus 3x. So now let's simplify these. What's 4x plus 3x?
7x.
7x. So now I'm just going to write what I have. But of course, I have to put it in order. I have to write the term with the variable first. So I'm going to write 7x plus 7. And that's my answer. Okay. So this is what we call adding like terms, right? A like term is a term that has the same design, right? So I can only add constants to constants. I can only add the same variable to the same variable. So you're going to see problems like this that are not actually this simple, but it's the same idea. You'll see it like we have in this example below in example number 3, right? When you guys are taking your COSTAS test, I think this is a question actually directly from the COSTAS test, or an example of a question from exactly from the COSTAS test, right? It's a question that is not designed to be difficult, but it makes it seem difficult to some people because of what they're asking you to do. So we're going to take a look at this question here. I'm just going to scroll up. All right. And so it says to write an expression that is equivalent to the perimeter of the triangle below. How do you find the perimeter of a triangle? What do you have to do to find it? Right. All you have to do is add all the sides together, right? Now that we have the x's, is still going to be the same thing. We have to just add all the sides together. So let's just start off with 2 sides. We're going to add these 2 sides together. We have 2x plus 4 plus 4x. What are we going to get when we add these together?
5x plus minus 1.
Excuse me? No, just these two. 2x plus 4 and 4x. What are we going to get?
6x.
Good. Or we're just going to combine the 2x and the 4x to get 6x, right? 2 plus 4 gives me 6. And then I just bring over the 4 because there's nothing else to simplify. So I just do 6x plus 4. So that's how I added these 2 together. So those 2 are already added together, right? Now I have to add this other one. So now I have 6x plus 4 plus 5x minus 1. So what is that going to be? How am I going to add those 2? What am I going to combine together?
The 6x plus the 5x.
Okay, what am I going to get when I do 6x plus 5x?
11x.
Okay, 11x, perfect. All right, and now I have 4 minus 1. What is that going to be?
3.
3. 4 minus 1 is 3. Right, 4 minus 1 is 3. So I have 11x plus 3. That's the answer. So how many of you have seen a question like this before and left it blank? Right? All it is combining like terms. So remember, you can only combine your x's with your x's and your constants with your constants. So I didn't have to do it like that piece by piece. I could have picked out all of my x's and just added them together. I have 2x plus 4x plus 5x. How many x's is that? That's 2 plus 4 plus 5 is 11x. And then I have 4 minus 1, which is 3. And I just write it down, 11x plus 3. Okay. So these questions and these things like this are only as hard as you make them, right? If you see an X and you're like, nope, I can't do it, then you're not going to be able to do it. But when you remember what the things that you've learned and what you've seen before, you can work with these things, okay? There's no reason to just throw up your hands when you see an X, right? There's no reason to stop and be like, oh, I can't do this, this is too hard, right? This is actually a very easy question because it's just a perimeter question. Perimeter is just addition. So if I have just addition, I can just use those same skills that I've used before. Okay, any questions about this, about combining like terms?
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
are
we're
we
gonna
gonna
work.
go over this again?
What?
Are we gonna go over this one again?
Go over what again? What do you need to go over again?
Like, okay, when you did the first thing by adding the two, multiplying the two sides, I understood that part.
Multiplying the two sides.
I mean, adding the two sides,
Okay.
understood that part, but it's the other side I got confused with.
What other side?
Like the side right there where you said the 5x and the -1.
Okay. So let's look at that again then. So if I have right here, which is, it's already written down, I'm going to erase some things to give ourselves some space. Okay, so when I added my first two sides, I got 2x plus 4x gives me 6x, right? And I just bring my 4 over, so 6x plus 4, right? That's what I have, yes? Antoinette? Yes? What happened? Where do we go? Antoinette? Am I frozen or something? Did I lose you guys?
No.
Oh, okay. So we
I'm
just lost
here.
Antoinette? Okay. Well, I mean, I was trying to do it for her, but if we lost her, I don't know what to do. So I have 6x plus 4.
My screen froze. My
Oh.
hotspot turned on. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah,
I was just okay.
Yeah, I'm having problem with this hotspot cell phone that the school give us.
Okay. Have you called to try to get help with it?
No.
Okay. Is this the first day that you're having problems with it, or have you been having problems? I'm
Yes.
sorry?
Yes, it's the first day.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's just today. So maybe give it some patience and maybe it'll be okay. But if you continue to have problems, give somebody a call about it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So when we added the first two sides together, we got 6x plus 4, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now we have to add the other side. So we're going to add 5x minus 1. So how do I combine those two? What am I going to combine? With 6x plus 4 and 5x minus 1, what am I going to combine? What are good?
The 6x and the 5x.
Okay, so what's 6 plus 5?
12.
What's 6 plus 5?
Sorry. 6, 7, 11.
Okay, so I have 11x. So my x's are taken care of, right? So now all I have is 4 minus 1. What's 4 minus 1?
3.
That's how we got our answer.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I understand it now.
Okay, good. So we're gonna try another example of this. Give me a second, let me set it up. Okay, so here we have a couple examples of where we're going to be combining like terms. So again, the idea is only to put together the terms that are the same. So they should have the same variable. And if they don't have the same variable, you can't combine them together. So in example number 1 here, or practice problem number 1, I have 6d minus e plus 3d minus 2e. So what am I going to combine together?
6D, 3D,
Okay, what's 6d plus 3d?
9D.
Perfect. All right, and that means I'm also going to combine the negative e with
And
the
a negative
negative
2E.
2e. What's negative e minus 2e?
1E.
Nope.
Negative 1E.
It's going to be negative 3e, right? It's
Oh, because you
already
got
negative,
oh,
and I'm
I
making
forgot
it
that.
more negative, so it's negative 3.
3.
Okay, so this is going to be my answer. When you have an answer like this where you have 2 variables, you should put it in alphabetical order. So D and then E. Okay, and so this is your answer.
Okay.
Okay, 9D minus 3E. All right, let's try that again. Let's try it with number 2. What are we going to combine here? It says 3 plus 2C plus 5C plus 2.
2C plus 5C.
Okay, what is that going to give you?
7C.
Okay, that means we're going to combine the 3 and the 2. What do we get?
6.
3 plus 2?
7.
3 plus 2?
I mean 5.
Okay, so this is our answer, 7C plus 5. Okay. All right. So I am going to assign each of you one to do on your own, just to make sure you guys are understanding the concept. So number 3 is going to be for Antoinette. Number 4 for Jules. Number 5 for Tichelle, and number 6 for Miriam. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a minute to do your problems, and we're going to come back together for the answers.
I'm doing number 5. Okay.
Yep, you're doing number 5. All right, let's see these answers. All right, Antoinette, what do you have for us?
Okay. I added 2A
Uh-huh.
and 7A.
Okay.
I got 9.
Okay, so 9A.
9A.
Okay.
And then I added 3B and 5B is 8. 8B.
So you have 3B minus 5B.
Okay.
So it's going to give you a negative
five-
answer. It's going to give you
5B.
it's going to be a negative 2b.
Huh?
So you have a positive 3 and you're
Okay.
subtracting 5.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. So you have negative 2. So it's 9a minus 2b.
Oh, that's why I got confused. That I thought when I added 2A and 7A, I thought I was supposed to do the same thing.
So you do whatever symbol you see, right? And this is a minus sign,
Okay.
right? So, and also make sure you guys are always working with your negative numbers. Your negative numbers are going to be on every single test you take. So if you still need practice with that, make sure you work with them. I believe in week 4 is when we went over absolute value and negative numbers. So you can do that again, always do that practice, work with your negative numbers. Okay, Jules, number 4.
Yes, number 4. 6. I got 6C.
Uh-huh,
Minus 5D.
okay,
Minus 3.
minus 3, perfect. Okay, so 6C, there's nothing else with a C, right? When you combine your D's together, you're gonna get negative 5D, and then when you combine the constants together, you're gonna end up with negative 3. Very good. Okay, Tashelle, number 5.
Negative 3 and positive 2n. I mean, no, negative 3n.
And you're combining it with the 2n.
Yeah, 2, yes.
Okay, what did you get?
5n.
Okay, so this is negative 3 plus 2.
So you don't turn it to a positive?
So you have
So,
negative 3.
all right, so it's going to be 1 and
Negative n.
negative n.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Right? This is a negative 3, that's a positive 2.
2.
Okay? What else do you got?
And you got a positive 12.
Uh-huh. And that can't be combined with anything. All right, good.
And then you have the negative 6B
Okay.
and the B.
Okay. So this is 1 minus 6.
6 is
So what's
5.
1 minus 6?
5.
Negative 5b.
5. B.
Okay, and now you have to put it in order. So you're going to put the b first, negative 5b minus n plus 12.
Man, I ain't even do that right.
All right, and so Miriam wrote her answer in the chat and I saw it, but Miriam, you're off with your addition of your numbers there, the constants. So you're correct with your C, right? You have negative 4C, right? But then you have negative 4 plus 6. What's negative 4 plus 6? It's actually going to be negative 4 plus 6 is 2, right? Negative 4 plus 6 is equal to 2. So negative 4C plus 2 is the answer for number 6. All right, so we're going to keep going. I'm going to do a couple more examples here. Let's work with number 7 first. I'm going to erase the drawings. I'm going to work with number 7 together, and then I'm going to release you guys to do a couple more on your own. All right, so number 7, what are we going to combine in number 7?
The M's. 8.
Good, we're going to combine the M's. So we have 8M minus 5M. How many M's do we have?
2.
8 minus 5,
3M.
3 m's.
Mhm.
Okay, so now, and we're going to combine the 23 minus 27. What's that going to be? 23 minus 27. So remember that when we are working with our negative numbers, so this 27 is larger than the 23, right? So what you can do is just rearrange it. Do 27 minus 23, but because the 27 is larger, you know your answer must be negative. So we do 27 minus 23, which is going to give you 4, but your answer is actually going to be negative 4. So we have negative 4, we have 3m, and we have 4n. Those are our answers. Now we just need to put it in order. It's going to be 3m plus 4n minus 4. All right. So I'm going to have you guys practice again on your own using the same idea, the same strategy. The issue seems to be here with your negative numbers. You guys got to make sure that you're working with your negative numbers on your own if you're still having issues. Do some IXL practice, review your notes. Negative numbers are not supposed to be something that's supposed to be hindering you. We've been working with it before. So make sure that you review the things that have given you trouble in the past. I can't review it for you. You have to work through it, okay? So number 8, I'm gonna assign to Miriam. Number 9 to Tishelle. 10 to Antoinette, and 11 to Jules. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys 2 minutes to go over those and practice.
You're running fast.
Okay, so let's go over these. I saw that again, Miriam put her answer in the chat. So we have 8x and 3x. So we have to combine those first. That's actually going to give us 11x. And then when you combine the negative 2y and the 5y, you are going to get 3y. But it's 11x plus 3y, right? 8 and 3 gives you 11. All right, number 9, Tishelle.
Negative 3b, negative 7b, give you 4b.
Okay, so it's already negative and you're making it more negative. So you're just gonna add them together, but keep it negative. So what's 3
Oh,
plus 7?
10,
Okay, so you
negative
have
10,
negative 10.
negative 10b,
Okay, all right. What about your A's?
11a, and positive 6a, 17a.
Okay, you just gotta put it in order. So it's gonna be 17A minus 10.
10b.
Okay, great. All right, Antoinette.
Okay. Okay. Now I did 7
Uh-huh.
plus 2y.
Nope.
Huh?
The 7 and the 2, this is an orange and this is an apple. I can't combine
okay,
them.
yeah. Okay. It's 7 plus x, no, 8x.
I can't do that either. That's an orange, an apple, and a plum.
Say what?
I can't combine any of them.
No, because it's no.
None of them are the same, right? 7 doesn't have a variable, 2 has y, and 8 has x. So I can't combine any of them, right? I just have to put it in order.
Put them in order.
So it's going to be
Negative 8x
8
plus 2y
plus 2y and
plus
7.
That's it.
Oh.
I can't combine. You can't force them together. If they don't go together, they don't go together, right? You can't make your cat play with your dog if they don't want to play together. They're just gonna fight. Don't make them fight, right? Just keep them separate and make sure you put it in order. So in alphabetical order, your X, then your Y, then the one without a variable.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, Jules.
Okay, 3x first, 3x,
Okay,
3x. Now, negative 5y plus 3y equal negative 2y.
perfect.
That's it.
That's it. That's my answer. Okay, combine your X's, combine your Y's. You have 3x minus 2y. All right, and then the last one we're gonna look at together. We're just gonna do 12 together. Which ones am I gonna combine?
Negative 5c and positive 9c.
Nice.
Okay, what's that gonna be? What's negative 5 plus 9?
4c.
4c.
Good, perfect, 4c, right? And then I just gotta keep my d because there's no other d that goes with it. So I'm just gonna do 4c minus d. And now I gotta combine my constants. So what's 7 plus 2?
9.
9.
That's my answer. Okay, so this is combining like terms. We put together the things that we have that are alike. Okay, so we have now gone over everything that we needed to go over for this term. Make sure you guys do practice number 2 and 3 in your week 10 folder by 3:00 p.m. tomorrow and turn them in. Also turn in your notes because we finished them. Next week, we have 2 days to review. So we're going to try to review the things that we need to review to prepare ourselves for the CASA test, but also to prepare yourselves for the GED. So make sure you come with questions and we'll start with your questions and then we'll just review the things that we need to review to be ready to take our exams. All right, do we have any questions for me?
Mr. D,
Yes.
What is the CASA test?
So the CASA test is the same test that you took when you came to the school and you registered for the first time.
Is
That's
when?
That was the plus. Oh, when is it? Oh, it's going to be the week of the 14th.
Oh, okay, week of 14.
Yep, the week of the 14th. And Jules, you should be getting a contact from Miss Butler soon. She is the GED coordinator. She'll be sending you a contact soon to schedule you to try to help you take the GED ready test to see where you are, because I told her that I think you're ready to start with math. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
No.
All right, you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you all next week.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Mr. G.
Bye. Have a good one. Study, Antoinette.
I will.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.